All right, we're up. Hello, everybody.
Hello, it's us.
Yes, it's me, Flip.
It's me, Ange.
And we're back with another midweek Minisode for Crushed and Pressed. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yay. Welcome. Thank you for being here as soon as you get here, because right now
There's
it's
an...
me and Flip. And we're the only watchers. But we're hoping someone jumps
Somebody
in here
else will
soon.
jump in here and say, hey, what's up?
So if you're watching this as a playback, good on you. Wish you were here right now,
wish you were
but
here
I'm
right
glad
now.
you're here later.
But yes, definitely. All right.
Jesus. Are you drinking anything, Flip? What you got?
I am. I have a Truly lemonade hard seltzer today.
I've never had one of those.
They're
Like
pretty
what,
good.
there are a bunch of brands now, right? That have hard seltzers,
Hmm?
I guess.
What'd you say?
Like there's a bunch of brands now that do that.
Oh, yeah. A ton. Like, everybody's doing it. It's like a thing now.
Oh. I have cheap twist top wine.
Ooh, yay. Barefoot red
Barefoot.
Moscato. Oh,
So I poured it out and it pours like a soda. And
It
I was like,
does.
that's it. That's all I want. It's
the
my
fizzy
Sprite.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I'm doing.
good.
How's your week been? What have you been up to?
Working. Uh, working. Let me think. My friend was over here Monday, and we stayed up real late and, like, watched music videos from, like, the early to mid 2000s and just relived
That's a
those
time.
days. Yeah, that was a fun
Yes.
time. So we relived those days. It was interesting. A lot of My
Hey.
Chemical Romance, a lot of Panic at the Disco,
Yep.
you know, stuff like that. Stuff that really mattered back in 2005 and 6.
That was okay. So I was in college at that time, and so that's my college music
Okay.
that I remember from like house parties and stuff. And there was one. It was during, I think it was the Hurricane Katrina and Rita, and
Mhm.
like Rita came first, and so we were having Rita parties and shit with margaritas. But my boyfriend at the time was living in a double wide trailer with a bunch of other guys. The power went out, and so he came over to stay with me in the dorm. We went back to the house to pick up supplies, and they had no power, and they were lighting marshmallows on fire and flinging them across the house at each other, playing Panic at the Disco on high volume. And we're like,
Panic at the Disco is
y'all, that's,
life. Listen.
yeah.
Ugh.
So I automatically associate flaming marshmallows with Panic
With
at the
Panic at the
Disco.
Disco. Well, today, Ange and I were just saying that
Mhm.
we don't have a whole lot of like major stories to cover today. Like we said, it's our midweek mini episode. We typically don't cover huge episodes on those. And I know I think we have a couple of people who've joined us that might be like newer to our podcast and like our
Yeah,
our
my friend
order
Megan
and
from college.
stuff. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Megan.
But basically what we do in our midweek mini episodes is we kind of just touch on some stuff that's been going on in the world, stuff that's been going on in our worlds. So today, I guess I'll kick it off real quick.
Yes, please.
Um,
Yes.
Today, I actually saw a news article. This one is from CNN, but there were a bunch from like Daily UK, things like that, where they have identified a new suspect in the 2007 disappearance of Madeleine McCann, which is crazy to me. So, for those of you who don't
Oh.
know, this little girl vanished 13 years ago from her bedroom. Like her parents, they were on vacation in Portugal. Her parents said that she and her siblings were left in a bedroom by themselves while they went down to like a little bar a couple feet away from them, and they went back periodically to check on them. Her dad went back and noticed that the door was open, but like didn't think anything of it. He just peeked his head in and then walked back. And then I believe mom went back, and that's when mom noticed that the window was open and Madeline was missing.
Jesus.
And instead of like calling authorities that night, they like went to bed and then called authorities in the morning. And everybody had
Y'all.
this huge search. It was wild.
Yeah, the amount of memes, because there's a documentary that you can watch on Netflix about it,
Yes.
and the amount of memes after that came out about people like, oh, these parents, you say they're real bad, not as bad as Madeline McCann's parents.
No.
Like,
No, like
just
they were
fucking,
just like,
no cares.
they were completely like just thrown off by the entire situation, like didn't bother to do anything about it. As a matter of fact, when the searches were going on, the entire town is searching, and the parents are just like, we don't know. Yeah. And then the parents said, like, oh, we saw this man running away from the window. He had on all black.
No.
That was it. That's all they gave. And for the longest time, like, everybody was thinking, like, this is like a Casey Anthony situation. Like, the parents definitely killed her. There was also the thought that maybe she was sold into, like, sex trafficking, which I guess that could be plausible. But really, the case kind of just went completely cold. They did recently do the documentary on Netflix, because what are we? We're 13 years into this now. So they did recently do the documentary on Netflix about it, where her parents refused to give any kind of comments about it.
Hell, that's your kid.
Well, because they don't want to be any part of it. They were like, no, we didn't do it. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
So today, as recently as like 4 hours ago, it was announced that they do have a new suspect. British and German authorities are investigating a new suspect in connection with the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. UK authorities on Wednesday described the development as a significant new line of inquiry. So maybe we're here. Maybe we're doing it, you guys. Maybe we've caught them. Of course, like I said, she vanished sleeping in her family's holiday apartment in Portugal on May 3rd of 2007. She was 3. Oh.
That's a baby.
Something happened. Oh, because we have a new follower. Awesome.
Ew, what?
We have a new follower, you guys. That was cool. It popped up over here.
She's like, what was this?
I've never seen that before, but we have a new follower.
Guys, we're new to this.
Yeah.
And how exciting. We have more than 10.
Super exciting. So the new suspect is a 43-year-old German man who authorities from both countries are saying that this is likely the guy, you know. We don't know that for sure, but it's him. So the suspect was previously convicted for sexually abusing children, and he's currently serving a really long jail sentence for a completely unrelated crime. But now he's being investigated for the possible murder in connection to Madeleine.
Holy crap. Hey, that one. So I never finished the documentary because I just got so sidetracked with other documentaries that are going on. Did they ever find her body?
I don't think so.
Right? I thought she was just still missing.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, it's because same thing with Casey Anthony's daughter. They never found that body.
No, they found her body.
They did?
Yeah, they found her body in the woods.
Oh, okay.
There's a documentary on that about on Hulu, just in case anybody's interested. There is a documentary about it on Hulu. So they said that there was details of 2 cars that were linked to the suspect around the time of her disappearance, and they basically want any of the public to kind of step forward with any kind of information about it. It's a Westfala camper van. I don't know what that is. That's a thing over there. I don't think that's a thing over here. With 2-tone markings, and it has a Portuguese registration plate. Basically, the suspect had access to the van from April 2007 to sometime after May 2007, and it was used in the area where she disappeared.
Okay.
The second vehicle is a British Jaguar, which is registered in Germany. That car is believed to have also been in that area in 2006 and 2007 and was originally registered to the suspect. And then on May 4th, the day after she disappeared, he re-registered it to somebody else.
Wow. Okay.
In 2011, they began kind of reviewing her disappearance, and they had a large-scale operation that cost them 11.75 million euros, which is $14.7 million to us.
Oh my god. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So, following the 10-year anniversary, they received information about the German man who was known to have been in the area around the time of her disappearance, and he was working with colleagues in Germany and Portugal, and he is now the main suspect. There is, of course, I'm just going to put it in American, $25,000 reward for any kind of information that leads to his conviction. And the Portuguese police are now saying that they're taking huge steps to kind of clarify this situation. Of course, her family has been notified, and they're hoping to have some kind of new developments on this. So that's really it. There's not anything too crazy on it, just that we have a new suspect, which is super interesting. Oh, hello, John. John is late. John couldn't lose that top fan status.
John, we sat here waiting, and we're like, I guess we'll just podcast to ourselves because no one's in here, not even John. He just doesn't like us anymore. I guess we'll have to accept it. It's fine. So we're glad you're here. Thank you so much.
So yeah, that's really all they have right now. Just that they have a new person and a connection to this. So
yeah, y'all Flip sent me a message about that. She's like, I've got an update, blah blah blah, and I was like, here's the thing. I'm one of those crazy true crime nuts, and I have all sorts of updates coming through my Facebook and text message going, there's an update in this case. And I was like, I'm not going to read it. I'm going to let Flip tell me.
John, you'll have to go back to the beginning and re-listen to our stuff on Madeleine McCann.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting.
Okay.
So Ange is going to tell us a fun thing. Well, it's not really a fun thing. It is very much so pertaining to our climate right now. But she's going to tell us about it. Yeah.
So I saw a thing last night at like 1 a.m. that there's a film called Just Mercy. Yes. It came out, I think it went through the film festivals in September, and then it was in theaters in December. Yeah. And I had seen previews for it, and it's one of those that you watch the previews, and it's got Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, and I'm like, well, that's just going to make me cry and lose my brain. I'm ready for that. And then I'm broke all the time, so I don't get to go to the movie theater all the time. So I missed it. And not Netflix, but all these different streaming services are going to give you free rentals of the movie Just Mercy in the month of June to help educate people on systemic racism. So that's one where if you don't have the time to sit there and look into all the stuff, listen to all the podcasts, read all the articles, talk to your Black friends, you can watch this film and it will help you.
Right.
Because I do understand not everybody has all the time in the world like I do to get involved with listening to all the things. I listen to way too many podcasts. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this movie is actually based off of a book, and it is I don't know if it's biography per se, but it is a true story of justice and redemption by Bryan Stevenson. And I want to tell you a little bit about him. God willing, my Wi-Fi holds out. Okay. So Stevenson wrote the critically acclaimed...
What is happening?
A Story of Justice.
You paused.
Did you lose me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You're good.
Are we frozen?
No, we're good. All I heard was he wrote the critically acclaimed... Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, good. He wrote the critically acclaimed memoir. It's a memoir. That's how I said it.
Okay.
Just Mercy, A Story of Justice and Redemption, and it was published in 2014. It was selected by Time Magazine as one of the 10 best books of nonfiction for 2014. It was among the New York Times 100 notable books for the year. You guys can get this on Audible if you like listening to books instead. It's good shit. It won the 2015 Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence in Nonfiction, and then the 2015 Daytona Literary Peace Prize for Nonfiction. And then they made a film based on the book called Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan as Stevenson. And it premiered September 6th at Toronto International Film Festival, and then was released theatrically December 25th. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about who Bryan Stevenson was. And so this is the one being played by Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. he graduated Harvard in 1985, the year I was born. And he moved, I'm old, he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and joined the Southern Center for Human Rights full time. The center divided work by region, and Stevenson was assigned to Alabama. So that's
Yikes.
fun.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a little bit about my experience with Alabama. So, when Hurricane Maria hit and it looked like it was going to take up all of Florida, my husband and I sat there and were like, well, we should maybe evacuate for this one because we hadn't evacuated for any other ones. And we decided we'd look at the map a little bit and we're like, what's nearby? Everybody's going to go to Georgia, North and South Carolina. Alabama's a state. We can go to Alabama. And so we took the dog, the cat, all our vehicles, and went to literally Montgomery, Alabama. Because I was like, this is fine. There's a lot of history here. There'll be a lot of stuff for us to do. And we ended up going to a bunch of places that were dog friendly, like the dog park and PetSmart and shit like that. So we didn't get to go to all these other places that I'm about to mention, but we drove by them and we saw them. And now I really want to go back and visit them now that I know they exist. So
you want to go back to Alabama?
I know. I want to go back and visit the stuff.
I'm sorry. I apologize if anybody is from Alabama.
State's a hot mess. And this is from someone from Florida and Texas. Your state's a hot mess. Yeah, we should be talking. Our states are a hot mess.
Disaster.
Okay, so. Jesus. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Lawyer. He's a lawyer. Main thing that he was fighting for, I want to summarize for you guys instead of just reading it, was fighting for social justice for young black males, specifically under the age of 18, to make sure that they don't get sentenced to life or death in jail because they're under 18. Their frontal lobe is not fully formed. These are children. And there should be some kind of other prison sentence for them. And there are many things that lead to why certain crimes are committed by young men in the black community versus others. And there's different reasons for why they are more likely sentenced to death than young white men. So he went through and did this whole thing where the category in Wikipedia is acknowledging slavery. And it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
The EJI offices are near the landing at the Alabama River. Hey, Zuri. Where the slaves... So let's see. Okay, the offices where he worked are near the landing at the Alabama River, where slaves were unloaded in domestic slave trade, and it's an equal distance away is the Court Square, and it's one of the largest slave auction sites in the country. He noted that downtown Montgomery, there were dozens of historic markers and numerous monuments related to Confederate history, but none that were acknowledging the history of slavery and the wealth that caused the wealth of the South, and it was the basis for the Civil War and all of that. So why would you not have anything to acknowledge that part? So he proposed to the state documentation for 3 slavery sites to have historical markers. And the Alabama Department of Archives and History told him no, they didn't want to sponsor any markers for that. So he worked with the African American History Group to gain sponsorship for the project, and they gained state approval and added those 3 markers in 2013, and these have been installed in Montgomery. So, because it's one of those where it's like, yeah, you don't want to acknowledge that this happened. Tough shit, it did. And if you're going to have all of these museums for the Holocaust, which wasn't even in our country, you damn well should have museums for the slave trade and for civil rights and all that shit that did happen here. You know? So, this is why I love him. He acquired 6 acres of former public housing in Montgomery and developed a new project, the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. And it commemorates nearly 4,000 persons who were lynched in the South from 1877 to 1950. Y'all, lynching is still a thing today, just so you know. Many lynchings were conducted openly in front of mobs and crowds in the county courthouse square. And he argues that the history of extrajudicial lynchings by white mobs is closely associated with the subsequent high rate of death sentences that are imposed in Alabama over other southern states, and that there's a disproportionate application to minority people for death sentences. He further argues that the history influences the bias against minorities as expressed in disproportionately high mass incarceration rates across the country. And The memorial opened April 2018. So that was just 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's, I'm like, God, this is cool.
Yeah.
Also associated with that memorial is the Legacy Museum from Enslavement to Mass Incarceration. And it tells, as you go through the museum, it tells that story of how the slave trade and all of that leads to where we currently have a mass incarceration of Black bodies. And there's absolutely a link between that. Duh.
Yeah.
And so there's now a museum and things where you can learn about that. So he wrote this book. It won all those awards. And now he is an active public speaker, speaking on a huge schedule with EJI. His speech at the TED conferences 2012 in Long Beach, California, brought him a wide audience to the internet, so check out his TED Talk. Following his presentation, attendees at the conference contributed more than $1 million to fund a campaign run by him to end the practice of placing convicted children to serve sentences in adults' jails and prisons. Because they should be in juvenile facilities and not in fucking adult jails.
Right.
His TED Talk is available on the TED website. And by April of 2020, it has been viewed more than 6.5 million times.
Oh, we got something else.
Oh,
we got another follower. Yay! Yo, this is cool.
What a Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and find that TED Talk after this, and I'll post it to our wall so you guys can go check that out, because this man's freaking amazing. And then let's see, the story in the movie also involves the lawyer's interaction with Walter McMillan. And it's Walter Johnny D. McMillan. He was an African-American pulp wood worker in Monroeville, Alabama, who was wrongly convicted of murder and sentenced to death. And his conviction was wrongfully obtained based on police coercion and perjury. And in 1988 trial, under a controversial doctrine called judicial override, the judge imposed the death penalty, even though you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Okay.
The jury imposed a sentence of life imprisonment, and the judge overrode it and said, no, death penalty. So from 1990 to 1993, the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals turned down 4 appeals, which is fucked up. And in 1993, after McMillan had served 6 years on Alabama's death row, the Court of Criminal Appeals reversed the lower court decision and ruled that he had been wrongfully convicted. Yeah. If you guys aren't familiar with it, look into the Innocence Project. There's one, I believe, in every state, and they do amazing work, and they have a lot of they need money, because a lot of it's all volunteers.
It is all volunteer.
And a lot of lawyers donating their time to help people, right? So they need resource money, they need appeals money, and shit like that. So please feel free to donate to that. It's fun, feels good. And they're doing the right thing. One of my biggest problems in college, I took a death and dying class, and a lot of the students at my school were there to become prison guards. And so a lot of them were very pro death penalty. And I remember talking to them about, what if the people
they were just in your school to become prison guards? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds like a weird thing for me to just pause you on, but what? Oh, because you were right next to that prison, weren't you?
The Walls unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Walls unit was like, y'all, so I go into my college, I go to move into my dorm, and we're putting up all my stuff, and you look out the window and there's the Walls unit. It's right there. And my mom's like, well, what happens if someone escapes? And I was like, well, they're not going to come here. They're going to get out of town. It'll be fine. And every time a prisoner escaped, they left town. They did not stay. We had one that went to Walmart and tried to get some clothes. Why the hell would you stay? Like... I know. That's why I was like, they're going to leave. But yeah, so we had a huge criminal justice major department, and a lot of them wanted to be prison guards and work and do all that stuff. The criminal justice building on campus, this is so fucked up, was built by prisoners who had no idea what the building was for. And they did a grand unveiling and invited all the prisoners to come to the grand unveiling and said, this is where we will train your future prison guards.
Classy.
Yep,
Classy.
That's Texas. So that's one where it's like, Angela, why do you care? What is your relation to this? And I'm like, oh, because I went to college, and every week you had a big group of people protesting someone being put to death at the Walls unit. And we had a museum with old Sparky, the electric chair in it.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So that's one where, guys, the movie is free. If you have, let me see what the link was, but I know for sure Amazon Prime
Sweet.
You can rent it for free. So that was going to be my plan.
Yeah, I was gonna say might rent that on Amazon Prime. I feel like
Of course,
Amazon
my
Prime
life
is
version
probably the
plan.
biggest one that people would have.
Yeah. Yeah. So check that out. But it's if you just Google Just Mercy film, there are all sorts of links that come up telling you about where you can get it for free, and it's all during this month. Check it out, watch it,
Definitely.
learn about how this isn't just like a person to person issue. This is a systemic problem that starts from when the country was fucking founded until
Yeah.
now. It hasn't stopped, and there are just so many different facets to where this problem just permeates our whole culture
Yep.
as Americans. And there are lots of steps you can take if you want to get involved. You know, donate, email people, talk to your congressman, shit like that. So
Right.
watch the film. That was my spiel.
That was your spiel. There are also tons of other movies that you guys can watch. Oh man, there's a lot of people that we didn't say hi to. So my friend Matt's on here, Kara's on here, Greg is on here,
Marissa got on.
Kim is on here. What's up, Marissa? Like everybody's here. Hey everybody.
We were so worried. We got on for the first like 3 minutes. We're like, nobody loves us. Everybody hates us.
Yeah.
Guess we'll go eat worms.
Well, I imagine that a lot of people, of course, are getting off of work because a lot of things are opening back up in Florida. So I'm going to start working at the bar again. So go me.
I saw that. Karaoke time.
Karaoke time. And then, of course, with protests and things like that going on, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are out there doing that kind of stuff. Hoping that you guys are
Good
staying
on you.
safe out there. That's what matters, you know. But other things that we have to talk about. There wasn't a ton that we had to talk about. I was just, you know, looking over all the photos from the protests today in Flagler County, or in Palm Coast. Looked great.
Yeah.
Super peaceful. Everybody looked like they were having a great time. Police officers out there too, marching with everybody. You guys stayed safe. You stayed out of the street.
Yeah.
There were kids out there. There was a lot of really good stuff going on.
My youth group babies were out there, and that's my favorite thing, was getting messages from my youth group kids today telling me like, Miss Angela, we love that you're posting all this stuff and, you know, joining us in this fight. And I'm like, babies, I've been fighting this shit since like 2003. Don't worry, I got hashtag woke in 2003. It's been a long life.
This is the long fight. Hi, Minisode, Bo and Marissa driving home from Flagler. Woo woo! You guys work today, or I know Bo posted some videos earlier about the protest out there. That looked good too.
Yeah, on the bridge.
Yes. So
hey, I pulled up that watch list. That there's a watch list for.
I was gonna say I was just doing that.
Did you find it? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
On, let me see. On Netflix, you've got 13th.
Yes.
The number 13, TH. On Netflix, on Netflix, American Son. Also on Netflix, Dear White People. That's a fun one.
Good
That one's
movie.
intense. Get ready.
Good series too.
Yeah. Yeah, buckle in for that. Especially if you've never really looked into any of this and you are white, get ready. You'll learn a lot if you're open to it.
It was a good movie.
Hell yeah. Hulu, If Beale Street Could Talk. And I don't have Hulu, so I'm like,
I heard that was a really, really good movie. I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but if in the comments anybody's seen it, yes, he was great turnout, peaceful, well organized, awesome. Yay. Yeah, if anybody has seen that movie, if Beale Street Could Talk, definitely let me know if it was good, because I heard it was a decent movie.
Yeah. King in the Wilderness on HBO.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that at all. Netflix, See You Yesterday. Cinemax, The Hate You Give. And that is supposed to be a good book.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was told that's a really good book.
Yeah, and I think it was mandatory reading for either FPC or one of the high schools out here, because all my clients that had kids in that grade, that book was in their house.
I think it was for both. They follow the same summer reading schedule.
Okay.
As long as you're not in like AP or IB or something, they follow the same summer reading.
There you go. Yeah, because y'all, I'm cleaning houses, and this book, The Hate You Give, is on everybody's kitchen counter, their bedroom side table, something. And I was like, I guess I should be reading this book if everybody has it. And then the last one I had was When They See Us.
Oh my god. Netflix. So I couldn't. I started it and I couldn't fucking do it.
I can't make it through the preview of that.
I couldn't do it. I watched, I think, the first, what is it, like the first, like, 30 minutes of it, and I was like, I'm mad. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that was me in the preview. It was just angry tears, and I was like, everybody needs to watch this. I can't handle it, but everybody else needs to watch this.
And we're not, I don't know, for the people who are in here, we're not telling you to do any of this because, like, you know, we're like hippy dippy. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For a little bit. I professionally hula hoop. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're just a little hippy dippy. But it's really just good stuff to educate yourselves on. I think right now, more than anything, if you aren't into protesting, if you aren't into voicing all of your opinions on the internet, if you do nothing else at this time and you are choosing to be silent, I think the best thing to do in your silence is to silently reflect on yourself. I think sometimes a lot of us miss things that are inside of ourselves that need to be changed. I think it's also a good time to, if you don't want to do it out here on the internet, it's also a good time to just, like, start a conversation with your, like, family and friends. And what a better way to start a conversation. Put this movie on and start a conversation with somebody. Hey, me and all my friends came over and watched this, and you know what? This is bullshit. Like, you know, like, that. What a good way to start a conversation with somebody. I'm not.
And you guys are so blessed right now to have this list specifically. This is an amazing list, because I'll say my growing up, it was shit like, what's that one with all the cleaning ladies and the white girl saves them with the poo pie?
Oh, shit. The Help. The
Help. You know, and that's one that I read, and I'm like, oh, I get the message, blah, 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 but you still have a white savior that has to save these ladies.
Right.
These are ones. It's not like that. And then there was another one that just came out recently.
Hidden Figures is also a phenomenal movie. If you guys have not seen Hidden Figures, watch that. I watched the shit out of it. It was such a good movie.
Yay! The other thing I saw going around the internet is all of the, like, different people are making up lists for your city of Black-owned businesses and restaurants and stuff. And just buy your food from there. Buy your supplies from there.
For those of you in Flagler.
Hell yeah.
For those,
a little bit less.
Yeah, for those of you in Flagler's, options are a little bit less, but
all three of them.
Caribbean food restaurants are fantastic. Caribbean Treats is my shit. Definitely go there. I don't know what else to tell you.
I dropped off stuff in Emmanuel's closet today, and there's a Caribbean place right there, and I was like, hey, excuse me. I didn't know this was back here.
Oh my goodness, what are some other, oh my god, there's another show that I watched and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it.
What was it about? Who was in it? Our listeners know. That's
right?
Terrible. But y'all, you know, look at the media you're consuming. Some of it, when you're sitting there going, yeah, this is really good, this is positive, blah, blah, blah. Try to evaluate if it's being told from the viewpoint of a white person or the viewpoint of the person that's being represented in the art, because there's a huge difference. And it's kind of like watching a movie about teenage girls and their lives that's been directed by a guy. Like, we couldn't have gotten a woman director to direct a film about women. Why can't you get Black director, Black actors, Black writers to write a movie about the Black experience? You can. You got to fight for that. You know? So just keep something to look out for.
Oh my goodness, what is her name?
You can do it. What's she look like?
She was in Martin. She...
IMDb.
Yes.
.com. Here's me going, Lupita Nyong'o.
No.
I just watched...
She was not in Martin.
I know. But for me, I'm like, I just watched Us and Get Out, and I'm all about
Lupita Nyong'o.
All about that.
That's her thing.
I love her so much. Look,
Tashina Arnold. Yes, that one.
If I didn't say it.
What?
Yeah, she's in other stuff.
Yes. Yeah, she's in other
So
stuff.
she's in other stuff that I've seen. What is she?
Oh my goodness, what is the name of the show? I watched it with Joey. It blew my fucking mind too.
I'll find it.
I am gonna find it. I'm gonna find it right freaking now.
Hey, while you're searching, did you send our email letting them know who we didn't think the suspect was?
No, I did not. I have to send it. I'm gonna let everybody know on Sunday.
Guys. Flip's gotta do the work so we can get some answers.
I know.
What we're talking about for that, guys, last Wednesday and the two of them before, whatever, the last 3 Wednesdays pretty much, we are doing Hunt a Killer box. We bought that. We're playing that game with you guys together. If you would like to jump in with us, go back and watch those episodes from the last couple of Wednesdays, because 3 Wednesdays ago we started.
Yes.
Midweek, the next one, we had an updated letter. Last Wednesday we actually went through box number 2. Yes. Today we don't have anything, so of course we're talking to you now. And then next Wednesday we'll have probably a letter, and the one after that we'll have a new box. So if you want to get caught up, you have plenty of time. These episodes aren't that long. Hop on, watch the playback. It's all in the feed below. And come play with us. It's fun. We're solving a murder. Yeah, I was gonna say, who else is in here? Y'all come say hi in the comments if you're hiding out in here.
Right? Please do.
While Flip desperately
While
Googles.
I desperately Google, because it's gonna bother the shit out of me.
The other thing I wanted to say while we're here, Happy Pride Month.
Yes.
It's time. Happy Pride.
Whoop, whoop.
Or rather, sorry about your Pride Month.
I know.
We got a lot of other shit going on, but we're still there for you.
But, you know, if you're interested in watching other things about Pride, look into anything about Stonewall.
Yes. Let's talk about some riots. Look up anything about Stonewall.
Right.
Learn. This is a great time. Just take some time and learn. Why not? What else you got going on? You got COVID. That's the thing. Some people, a lot of people are still working from home and doing all of that because of, COVID-19. So you got time. Let's do some social justicing stuff. And then while she still looks that up,
frantically searching the internet right now. You guys gotta forgive me.
And while she looks that up too, Sunday, we're back on our 27 club, and we are doing Kurt Cobain. So if you've been following that, get on your best 90s grunge gear, listen to all your Nirvana, and then get in here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Texas
American
time.
Crime.
Don't know
the
that
character
we have anybody from the other side coming in.
No, American Crime. American Crime. It's a TV show. It's Regina King. American Crime TV show with Regina King. She plays a black Muslim. Super interesting show. She plays a black Muslim. She's trying to get her brother, who is a drug addict, out of jail because he is wrongfully convicted of one crime, and then he ends up committing another crime. It's basically she spends the time trying to save her brother from being a drug addict and a pimp and a murderer.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
Greg, it was the Innocence Project. Go look into just the Innocence Project, and there's so many for each state, and within the states, each city, a lot of them have different Innocence Projects, and they're the ones that need a lot of your help. And if anybody is in the legal field at all and wants to donate your time, if you have time to donate just organizing paperwork and filing, they need help. I mean, it's just amazing because they only take cases where the person is, clearly innocent,
100%
and they're fighting to get them. Yeah, they're fighting to get them those appeals. But you have to be innocent. You have proof, otherwise something wasn't considered. There's not your case.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The show is American Crime. She plays a black woman who converts to Islam. Her brother did convert at one point, but now he's gone back to his life of drugs and everything. And it's super interesting because there's kind of like a bit of like disparity between brother and sister, because he is against her because of her conversion, but she is against him because he chooses to date white women.
Oh.
So it really does talk a lot about that. That whole, like, it has a very strong racial background. The cops in there, very racially fueled. If that's not something that you're interested in, then don't watch it. But the cops in there are very racially fueled. And I think each season deals with a little bit of different information. So, like, the first season is that crime with Regina King. And then the second season, I believe, is about Mexican Americans in crime. And then the third season is about migrant workers. So it's definitely a really, really interesting show. They definitely took some very interesting, like, things to look into. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
But yeah, they definitely took some really, really interesting things to look into, and I think it's a really important show to watch. Like I said, Joey and I watched it together, and I was like, holy shit, this TV show is amazing.
Yeah. We actually got kind of that same feel. It's not the exact same thing, obviously, but we watched Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh my god, buckle up. Because, like, one of them is all about this, because clearly they're in the Twilight Zone, right?
Right.
So the one that I really remember was this woman, and she is trying the entire time, like, you see the first story, she's taking her son to college. Hey, Marcy. She's taking her son to college. They stop off at a diner. He gets shot by a white cop. And then all of a sudden, she's able to rewind time. So now she's back in the car with her son. And she's like, well, we have to avoid this. Well, no matter what, they get pulled over by the cop who shoots her son. So then it just keeps rewinding time and going over to avoid her son getting shot by a cop. And that's a Twilight Zone episode, but it's still social commentary. I liked it.
There is another TV show or movie on Netflix, and I cannot remember the name of the movie on Netflix, but it's basically the same thing. The little girl is working on time travel with her friend, and her brother is standing like this in the street with his cell phone, and the cop shoots him, and she goes back in time so she can prevent her brother from getting shot by the cop.
Oh my god.
There's definitely a lot of, like, really interesting social commentary type movies out right now. It's really cool because this is a conversation that, like, needs to happen. Obviously.
A little bit.
Again, like I said, it's just all about having a conversation right now. If you don't want to protest and march and do whatever, that's completely on you. But at least have a conversation and look inside yourself and realize, like, oh, it's a Spike Lee movie. Yes, it is a Spike Lee movie, but I cannot remember the name of the movie.
Mercy, I watched it. It's great. Well, you're not helping, Mercy.
I cannot remember the name of the movie, but it was a really good movie. But yeah, if you guys have anything else that you think that we should read or, like, listen to, any podcasts that we should read or listen to, I know right now, yesterday was our Blackout Tuesday. Today is actually supposed to be like a podcast blackout. So really, we're just supposed to be talking about social injustice and, like, all of this kind of stuff. So it's good that that's kind of where our turn has taken. Hi, Bobby. It's good that's kind of where our turn has taken, you know. It is really important to get these conversations out there. If you guys have anything else you want us to read or listen to, definitely drop it, because I like to read.
We're always looking for new stuff.
I'm always looking for new things to read and watch.
One of my favorite podcasts that really got me learning more about the systemic racism issue.
Yes. See You Yesterday. That's the name of it. See You Yesterday.
See You Yesterday. Okay. One of the podcasts that got me learning more about systemic racism and just how, like, you know, like the housing projects are originally built with a lot of, like, lead paint, and then people have a lot of health problems, and you can't afford the health care, and then you don't get the education, and then you end up getting arrested for nothing. I learned about a lot of that listening to the Undisclosed podcast. They originally started with the case of Adnan Syed.
Okay.
And it was after, what was that one where they covered Adnan?
Serial.
Okay. So it's Adnan's cousin, or his aunt. It's his cousin. She's the one that brought the story to Sarah Koenig and said, I'd like for you to cover this thing with my cousin. He's in jail. His name is Adnan. Serial happened. And then Undisclosed came out and was like, here's the thing. Serial didn't cover fucking anything.
Anything.
We have
Yeah.
Lividity. We have all these phone records and all this stuff. Like, and they have gone in for appeals. They've done all this stuff. They have a whole special finding moments in Black history regarding Between the Lies by Dick Gregory. Thank you. Thanks, Greg.
Oh, thank you.
I know. I was like, look at the Rex. Look at the Rex.
Ryan Singleton is the name of the young model who was found in the desert. All right.
Ah, thank you. We were talking about that the other day. Okay. Undisclosed Podcast. They have a mini series within their podcast, and you can just search for Undisclosed: The Killing of Freddie Gray. And they break down all of what happened to Freddie Gray and the history of that area. And it is very upsetting. You do hear a lot of interviews from neighbors who watched him get killed by the cops. And then you hear all about the cover-up that happened afterward, all of the things that went along with that. And it made me so upset. Marcy knows this. I harassed the Baltimore Sun, like newspaper. I was their worst person for at least 3 weeks. And I contacted every writer, editor, the guy that does their news. I sent in multiple things saying, why aren't you guys covering this podcast? Because they had originally covered hey, Undisclosed is going to be doing a series on Freddie Gray. And then once it was done, they were like, oh, we're not going to mention any of this ever again. Because in the podcast, they mention all the ties between Baltimore PD and the Sun and how they choose to cover what they want to cover. And so this was me trying to be like, look, I am a nobody from wherever, Florida, but I think you guys should absolutely be covering the Killing of Freddie Gray, the podcast, and and called people and left voicemails and all sorts of shit. I'm that person. So check out that podcast. The other one is Pod Save the People. It's from the Pod Save America group, and it's Pod Save the People, and all the hosts, I believe, are Black or people of color, and they talk about not just political stuff, but all of the social things that are going on in the world. And they have amazing stuff going on that podcast every single week. It's really good.
There's a weird beeping noise going on. I'm sorry, you guys.
I'll say, are you getting alien messages?
I am. That's what's coming next. July. Aliens.
Aliens. Every snap.
So yes, I put the title Undisclosed: The Killing of Freddie Gray. That is in the comments. I tagged my mom in it too, but I told her to check out American Crime. Such a good show. Definitely check it out. When They See Us, Mom and I talked about, and she was like, I can't do it because it'll make me mad. It'll make me mad. I tried to do it, you guys. I really tried. I'm just one of those people, like, I get easily, like, I get angry.
Yeah.
You know what I saw today that was very, like, mind-blowing to me?
Huh.
They are calling for an end to all white casts of Hairspray. What?
How did you ever have an all-white cast?
How did you ever have an all-white cast of Hairspray?
How?
The whole fucking point of the...
What the fuck?
Can somebody explain that to me? Has anybody who is watching right now ever seen an all-white cast of Hairspray? Because I need to know what the hell that's like. Somebody...
that would be like having an all-white cast of what? West Side Story or Once on This Island?
So, funny story that you brought this up. When I was in high school, there were only 2 Black people in our cast of What's on This Island, and that was me and my girl Gaby, and of course I played Timoon, and Gaby played... Mom is laughing right now. Gaby played...
They were like, how do you do that?
Yeah, Gaby... I played Timoon, and Gaby played Asaka. And in the script, it is written in the very end of the script that you can change out the words. So instead of saying like pale skin, we said like rich pockets. Like that's what the words say. That's what the script says for you to switch out. If you cannot get like that shift.
Okay.
It was a good show still. But it's definitely interesting because the entire show, if for those of you who don't know what Once on This Island is, it is the story of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And basically,
Not a white people's show.
not a white people. It is the story of Haiti and the Dominican Republic and the split in the island. And it's kind of like a fairy tale they tell people. Very like, very Caribbean meets like Little Mermaid. You know, like the gods give her this gift. And with this gift, she's able to go meet the prince that she wants. But then the prince is like, hey, you come from slave territory. We can bang, but I can't marry you.
Wow.
You can live in the castle and, like, be my mistress, but we can't be nothing more than that. And Mom said it was a great show. It really was a fun show to be in. But basically, it's like, hey, you can live in the castle and we can bang, but we, like, I can't marry you. I have to marry another white person. And then the gods are like, and then the gods are like, hey, he doesn't love you anymore. So you know what you got to do? You got to kill him. And she can't do it naturally.
Yeah.
She can't kill him.
Yeah.
And the gods basically kill her and turn her into a tree.
It is like Whatever Meets the Little Mermaid. That's the original Little Mermaid.
It is the original Little Mermaid. Yes.
Yeah. Because he doesn't fall in love with her. She turns into sand.
Yeah. It is the original Little Mermaid, but in island.
She turns into foam. She turns into
foam. But it is the original Little Mermaid meets like an island theme. And it was definitely interesting to do in high school. When I went to high school, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 8 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I know.
Wait, really? Yeah, it was 8 years ago. Okay, sorry, you guys.
Ago, so I don't want to talk about.
But we didn't really like do stuff like that. Like we didn't talk about like race like that. So it was really a good show to do. To kind of be like, this is us now. And I was a senior. I think prior to that, we wanted to do Rent for the longest time. They wouldn't let us do that. We did The Wedding Singer.
Forbid.
We did The Wedding Singer. That got banned real quick.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, when you have a fresh... Wow. Yeah, you know.
I know. Yeah. You know The Wedding Singer. If you're not familiar, it's an Adam Sandler film.
Definitely go look at it. Watch it. It's a great... I love it. I love The Wedding Singer. But, yeah, it was definitely a great show to do. You can find... If you're interested in watching Once on This Island and hearing great music and seeing a great show, you can definitely find it on YouTube. When I was in high school, I watched a lot of it on YouTube just to kind of get the gist of the show prior to having the script. Fun show. Really fun show. Really cool message. I didn't see it when they did it in DeLand. Didn't really know how they did it. Heard it was good, though.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a production coming up. Our Juliette Lilly was cast in it, and that got canceled because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I know. The other one... I would say back when I was doing community theater in South Texas, we did West Side Story. I'm from a town that is like 90% Hispanic. They still managed to do like an almost all white cast. And I was like, y'all, you have access to Hispanic
First of all,
actors.
West Side Story is my mom's like favorite musical. So how fucking dare you?
Romeo and Juliet. It's
Yes.
Jazz Romeo and Juliet.
Jazz Romeo and Juliet. Puerto Rican Romeo and Juliet.
Puerto Rico.
I love it. You know what? It's funny because I say that, but like the cast of the original, like the cast of the movie was definitely like all white people just in blackface, which is so fucked up. Like,
oh my god, guys! It's garbage. It's garbage. But yeah, it's fun. It's pretty.
It's
pretty
such a beautiful musical. My mom, I think we have it on DVD. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Good.
I love it.
Did you see they did a remake? I want to say they did a remake like in the 90s or whatever, and they had a modern soundtrack come out, and like Little Richie sang I think he sang "I Feel Pretty," and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. The soundtrack is friggin' amazing.
Other good musicals to watch if you're into musicals.
The Wiz.
Yes. Honestly, The Wiz was
down that road.
So good.
Get on down that
It's
Whatever, I love
ease.
Michael
It's
Jackson.
ease on down.
Ease on down, down there. And he's my favorite scarecrow. Look, I have a thing for the scarecrow, and he was absolutely my favorite scarecrow.
I think my mom has that on
You can't go wrong
record.
with Diana Ross.
Mom, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure you
yes,
have it
we
on a
had it on
record,
record.
don't you?
We had it
I
on
don't even know
record.
if she's still watching, but I'm like telling all her secrets out here. But I think she's got it on record, along with West Side Story.
I was gonna say, so side note, along with all this, I was in a production of Rocky Horror where we took Rocky, who's supposed to have blonde hair and a tan, and he was a black man, and we put a blonde wig on him, so he was blonde hair with a real dark tan.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes, you can.
Other plays that
Don't
talk
whitewash
about
shit.
racial disparity. Race. I was in that. Fantastic show. Fantastic script. Both said they have done all white productions of The Wiz. Yeah, Mom says she still has. Who is doing all white productions of The Wiz? I will fight you. Like,
That's not supposed to happen.
That's literally
it is
not how that
specifically
works.
for black
Hey,
people.
Sam.
Period.
that is literally not how that happens. Stop doing that. I will fight whoever does that.
Oh, that's what I love because, like, my mom, so we're little, and she was like, "You're going to watch this. You're going to watch this," and then she would just kind of filter kind of what we did. So when we watched Grease, she was like, "Cover your eyes." You know, at certain parts, she's like, "You're not allowed to watch this, but I want you to watch the dancing." The Wiz, she
Grease
was
is
so
trash.
excited because Stop, I know it is, but yeah, my mom sat there and was like, "The Wiz is going to be great. You all will love it. It is Wizard of Oz, but cooler." And we were so excited, and we love that. We love it. So
The Witch scared the shit out of me the first time I watched it.
I mean, always.
I mean, honestly, The Witch in The Wizard of Oz scares the shit out of me too, so.
She was on an episode of Sesame Street that got banned afterward because she scared so many children.
Terrifying. My mom could tell you I used to just like
scary.
not want to watch it. It was so scary. Yeah, but Race is another show. It's by David Mamet. Great show. And you weren't around us for that time frame. That's early CRT days.
I pulled up your pictures for it. 'Cause
Yes.
what was the Language of Violence? Is that one too, or no?
Yes, that was not after that. That was a different season, though. I think that was season 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a different season.
Y'all, I dug deep into those photos, and I'm sitting flip all these pictures like, what show is this? And she's like, I don't know.
Anna Ziegler. Race, if you've not heard of that, I remember when I was in it, my brothers were like super excited because Kerry Washington played my character on Broadway, and my brothers was like, "Oh my god!"
Hello, guess what?
But really good show. Lawyers, 2 head attorneys. My character played like a newer attorney who is really just more so their paralegal. Huge age difference. 1 white attorney, 1 black attorney. Black paralegal / attorney. You can hear the people outside. Sorry.
I thought it was for a second. And I was like, wait, I have headphones in.
No, it's out here. Yeah. Case comes in about a white male who is being accused of raping a black woman. Basically, the attorneys that I'm working with are 100% going to get him off. And my character, who is like 100% against him getting off, possibly sabotages the entire case for everybody to make sure that he's found guilty.
Holy crap.
And it deals with a lot of things about like affirmative action, because at that point, at the time frame, affirmative action is just like past. So it deals with a lot of like things with my character about dealing with affirmative action, where like my character wouldn't have even gotten this job that she has if it wasn't for affirmative action, if it wasn't for how good I looked in a skirt, things like that. So very, very good show. I uncomfortably had to say the N-word in it a few times. Made me want to throw up a little bit. My mom said, "Oh, yes, you do have that video." She said she liked Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was in that too.
Yeah.
Another one of John's productions.
Okay, so Marissa mentioned Actually. That's the one that we just did last December with Brent and Nikki. and it's a story about two college age people. It's their freshman year of college. They go to a party, they hook up afterwards. Was it rape or was it not? And they're being brought in front of a committee of school people to determine what happened and all of that. And you hear both of their stories, and it's told through like alternating monologues. And it is just such an intense show. And it's one that you go through his whole history and seeing like where his family was, how they were
Yep.
supportive or not, like, and how he got to where he was. And you get to this part where he's just like breaking down and crying about, he's got all this stuff going on. His mom's got cancer, like all this shit's going on. It's like, that's Jesus. But on top of it, it's like immediately your audience is like, oh, it's a young black man. He raped her. And then you start hearing the story and go, oh, maybe not. What happened? And we got so many different reactions from
when
everybody.
we saw it. You guys also had people leave. That's okay. We had people leave during race too.
Y'all, you've got to go see more plays. It's real fun when someone walks out of the theater because they're offended by a play.
I will say that Joey and I went to go see that show, and our friends Alexander and his brother were sitting behind us, and
Well, that's right.
we all walked out of that theater during intermission, and we said, if they find him guilty, I'm gonna fucking riot. And I was like, wow, how funny is that? Like, that we're just saying that about a show. Like, this is real life right now, where we were like, if he's guilty, we're gonna lose it out here in these streets. Wow.
Knowing full well they know both actors well, right, as friends.
It's just a show.
A terrible story.
We were mad. Terrible story. We were mad, you guys. But great show.
So I love theater.
Definitely.
Thanks. Theater's good.
Yeah, theater's great. But yeah, there's
well, that's why when people don't understand where I come from, where a lot of these ideas come from, I'm like, clearly y'all have never been involved with theater of any capacity whatsoever. Right. Because, but even then, like, have y'all never read a goddamn book? Do you not know what the Hunger Games is about? Do you not understand why Harry and them fought against fucking Voldemort? Like, pay attention. It's happening in real life right in front of you. I was gonna tell you, Hamilton comes out July 3rd. And it's on Disney Plus. You guys, that's a show. You want to get a little bit of history in there and really awesome music, watch some Hamilton. I have never seen that show. I haven't even listened to the full soundtrack. So this will be my first time ever seeing Hamilton.
I can't wait. Twilight Los Angeles 1992.
That.
This is going to sound so bad. If I see another person repost a video from the LA riots, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. They're two different things. But Twilight Los Angeles 1992 is in reference to that. That is a play. That is in reference to that. Other shows that have kind of some racially charged information. The Lynching by Jackie Walker. Twilight Los Angeles 1992 is by Anna Devers, just in case. And then, like I said on here, Race is on here by David Mamet. Soft Power by Henry David Hwang.
It's now a musical. The Color Purple is now a musical.
Yes, The Color Purple. I don't fully remember the racial situations in Thoroughly Modern Millie.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
If somebody can tell me exactly what it's a musical. It's a musical. Mandingo by Jack Kirkland. Ugh. Yeah. Really, that's just most of the shows. The Underground Railroad Game by Scott Shepherd.
Oh.
Just some good stuff for you out there in the world to hear about if that's something that you're interested in. The Scottsboro Boys is a musical. If you don't know about Scottsboro, look it up. Do you not know about Scottsboro, Angela?
Yeah.
Yes,
no,
you don't? Okay. Let me pull it up.
I don't know about it. Because I was sitting here going, I'm aware of the Black Wall Street situation that's mentioned in Watchmen, because I read a book about that. I
Okay,
haven't seen Watchmen yet,
so
but the anniversary of that just happened.
yes, so Scottsboro Boys, relatively similar to the reasoning behind. Oh my god. Let me just. Okay, Scottsboro Boys were ages 13 to 19. They were falsely accused in Alabama of raping a woman. You know,
Yeah, of course. We hear
when
this
they
constantly.
see us. But falsely accused of raping a woman on a train in 1931. Completely dealt with racism. They were not given a fair trial, and cases included a lynch mob, all white juries, rush trials, mobs that disrupted the trial, all kinds of crazy shit.
Okay.
This was actually really interesting. My English teacher had us do like a mock trial on this.
Fun.
Really cool. Freshman year of high school.
I know, right? Sometimes you get real good teachers.
But definitely a really, really interesting case. The Scottsboro Boys were defended by most of the North and attacked by the South, of course. Again, completely disenfranchised state in Alabama at that time. 8 of them were sentenced to death by electric chair. The executions were all set for July 10th. Appeals were still kind of indefinite and just kind of left them to indefinite stays of executions till like 72 hours before it was actually supposed to happen.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then somebody eventually like 100% like confessed to this situation. But
yeah,
basically she said that from what I'm remembering from this, it happened like I learned about this a really long time ago, but she just like pointed to them and she was like, it's them, they did it.
Wow.
And sorry, hold on, let me make sure this is right before I say it, but I know. So, in January of 1936, one of them was convicted of rape and sentenced to 75 years. That was the first time in Alabama history that a black man had not been convicted to death for raping a white woman.
Wow.
On January 24th, another one of them was injured by a deputy. In May, one of them died. On July 15th, another one of them was convicted in rape and sexual assault and sentenced to death. He then was sentenced to life in prison, and he was paroled in 1946. And then he died in 89 of Alzheimer's. July 22nd, another one was convicted of rape and sentenced to 99 years. He was paroled, and then they later violated him on his parole so that he wouldn't get out. Yeah. And then they ended up releasing him again. He moved to New York State. Another one was convicted of rape and sentenced to 105 years. Another one was sentenced to only 20
I'm sorry,
years.
105 years?
105 years. Another one was convicted, and he only served 20 years. And then one of them had all of the charges, three of them had all of the charges dropped. But in total, they had all spent 6 years on death row, despite their ages, and they were the youngest.
And they didn't do it.
No.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into the guy from the movie that I was talking about. When you're that young, you shouldn't be sentenced to death row.
Right, but when they see us, they talk about that too. And I think the oldest one is the only one who actually served like real time, and he was actually in prison with the person who actually did it. It's just absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not know that?
No, that makes me so mad. But that's the same shit. Like with with the Adnan Syed case and him being in jail, that boy's fucking innocent. And here's the problem: there were serial killers who were active at the time, killing the same kind of people as
Yep.
the girl that they accused him of killing. And it's like, hi y'all, you've spent all this time and money accusing this man wrongly, and meanwhile, there's an active serial killer out there doing the same shit. Catch the
Yep.
right guy. Stop it. Stop with your tunnel vision. You're fucking wrong. It drives me nuts. I get so lit. Look, and I'm actively cleaning people's houses, and they think, oh, she's just listening to like music, and I'm listening to
No, I'm
some
just
Justice shit. Just getting
angrily
lit.
listening to people.
I just really hate what I'm listening to.
Yeah, and I want to say with that situation, what ended up happening is that they all ended up getting pardoned at some point. Mind you, half of them are dead by the time they get pardoned.
Yeah.
But her husband, fiance, whatever the hell he was to her at that time, had gotten syphilis, I think. And like I guess she had been screwing around on him, and that's how she got it. And that ended up being like a major reason why they were getting pardoned, is because of the syphilis. Like they were like finding out that these guys didn't have syphilis. Like, it's wild.
Oh my god. Ugh. Well, and that's Marissa mentioned the Central Park Five.
That is exactly in relation to the Scottsboro boys. Like 100% the exact same case.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Go ahead.
I say we should really do full episodes on some of this shit. Like I messaged Flip and I was like, here's the thing, I'm actually gonna cover this. But like before that I was like, I'm about to get in here and cover Medgar Evers, and I'm about to cover like what is his name? Why did he just left me? Medgar Evers was my big one because he was killed while he was protesting. Like, Jesus Christ. I just can't.
There's a lot of crazy stuff out here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was a play either. 6 Degrees of Separation is a play that deals with racial themes. I see this. I'm gonna look. Sorry, I'm like, now I'm reading, you guys. Premiered in 1990. Overlooking Central Park. Paul has a minor staff.
Can we do it in a small black box theater?
Probably. Let me see what the original Broadway production looks like.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, look it up. 6 Degrees of Separation.
Yeah. Figure out if we can put that in the small black box theater. We'll go talk to John.
Is that the movie about the black boys on the train meeting the girl on the train? So this Uncle Stanley, the Scottsboro Boys, it was an actual like real case from the 1930s. They do have a movie adaptation, and we just learned they have a play adaptation as well. But yes, the black boys were on the train, and there was a white woman on the train who accused them all of raping her. And I want to say it's like 10 of them or something who ended up getting convicted of actually raping this woman when they had nothing to do with anything. It's utterly ridiculous.
Well, and it blows my mind because you have these huge groups of black men getting accused for stuff that it's like, one person did this. What the hell is going on? And that one person is clearly guilty, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of where Marissa mentioned the
Central Park 5.
Well, yes. And that was, in case y'all don't know, that's the one where it was Trisha was a 28-year-old white woman jogging in the park, and attacks on 8 other people in the area had, happened and all of that. So she was attacked. 3 of the victims were black or Latino, but this woman Trisha, was so badly injured that she was in a coma for 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they accused 5 teenagers, indicted for rape of the jogger and other charges. Another was given a plea deal. They pleaded guilty to assault, because sometimes your pleading is better than your fucking jail sentence. 4 other teenagers were indicted for assault and other charges related to attacks on the other people in the park. 5 youths, these are teenage boys, were tried in 2 trials for the rape of the female jogger. The 6th made a plea deal for a lesser sentence. 4 of the 5 were convicted in 1990 of rape, assault, and other charges. 1 of them was convicted of attempted murder. 1 was convicted on lesser charges, but as an adult. The other 5 defendants pleaded guilty to receive lesser sentences.
Yep.
And they were innocent.
Yeah, every last one of
Right?
them. And the oldest one,
Yeah.
who was in prison, spent time in prison with the person who actually committed the crime. Marissa, to answer your question, no, nothing happened to this woman who falsely accused these people. It's
No.
just like most of these cases throughout history where there's a false accusation that leads to somebody, being convicted or somebody dying. They come back and they're like, "Oh, never mind, it wasn't so and so," and nothing ever fucking happens.
No. Because that's the thing. It went to court. It followed the procedure, and
Right.
they did their best. Blah blah blah. And thought they found the real person.
And with the Central Park Five, the youngest one only confessed because they didn't give him a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do something. So why don't you go ahead and just agree to this? Well, and there's a lot of find a lot of black men that are innocent being given Alfred pleas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one where it says, "I can't prove that I'm 100% innocent because I was watching TV alone. I have no good alibi. Blah blah blah." And the court may be able to say that I'm guilty, but I would like to go ahead and take this Alfred plea so I can get the fuck out of jail.
Right.
Well, it still stays on their thing as though they were guilty. They were innocent, and that's where.
Yep.
And again, Adnan Syed has been offered the Alfred plea over and over, and he's like, "Here's the thing: I'm innocent. I'm not going to take that plea because I'm innocent."
Right.
Period.
That's the upset
That's
here.
so sad.
Did you ask your
Well, and that's when people.
dad about the song by Bob Marley? War is the name of the song. Significant for today is posted on his Facebook page. I will look it up and repost it.
Hell yeah.
Listen to a lot of Bob Marley in my time.
Just a bit. Some good time music.
This is my good time music. Every day I sit down and I think to myself, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your mind, okay?
Y'all. What would we do without
Sing
artists?
songs of freedom.
Let's
Redemption song. That's all I gotta say. Just take a minute after we're done with this podcast and just listen to Redemption Song.
Yeah. Yeah. Good shit.
Like I said, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But now that we've given you guys a ton of things to listen to and watch and all kinds of stuff, and just gonna pop the Innocence Project page in the comments, and we'll probably repost it on our page as well. Just so you guys have that information if that is something that you're interested in donating in. Also, there are a lot of other places for you to donate.
So many.
GoFundMe's for hit George Floyd's family. GoFundMe's to assist in rebuilding towns. This is the root of so much of the problem. If somebody reports a crime which never occurred, the penalty should be so much worse. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is part of the problem. And then, of course, another part of the issue is racial disparity in sentencing.
Jesus.
When we think about Brock Turner, who's a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
Did you see what he tweeted the other day?
No. I try to ignore that motherfucker. He's a dumb piece of shit.
Oh, he tweeted a picture of him on the podium with his, swimming bullshit. And he was like, "These were the good old days before she happened." Brock
Turner.
Go fuck yourself.
Die. Jesus Christ, man. Rot somewhere.
But he gets, fucking 3 months probation. and other people are out here getting
a dime bag of... No, and someone who's got a dime bag of weed on him
has 105 years of life sentence. It's a whole joke.
So unfair, guys.
It's a whole joke.
I say that's a whole mini-series.
It's a whole joke. That's going to be a mini-series for us. We're going to work on our mini-series of racial disparity. I'll let you know. Maybe that'll be, what are we on, season 2? Season 3 is Ghosties. So maybe that'll be season 4, racial disparity. So we can talk about all the fucking bullshit that goes on in this world.
Yeah, that's your casual lighter note for later, guys. We're covering ghosty shit next season.
Bail for protesters. There are sites for bail for protesters. I've also seen a couple of links here in Florida where there are attorneys who are offering pro bono. What is it? Pro bono representation for protesters who get arrested. If that is something, like I said, again, that you believe in, please do it. Speak your mind. Say what you got to say. Again, if you don't want to protest, if you don't want to outwardly post anything, that is absolutely fine. But take that time of silence to reflect on yourself and what you can do better. There's always something that somebody can do better.
And my biggest thing that I've been telling people constantly is talk to your Black friends, coworkers, everybody that you actually care about, and see what they say to do.
Sit down and have a conversation.
Period. And that's the thing. Every time I post something, if all my Black friends are commenting and liking it, I'm like, well, I did something right.
Right.
Like, and I just, like, I've told, I think I talked to Gabe, I talked to Kelvin, I talked to Denisha, and just asked them, like, hey, if I do something that's out of line or white saviory, call me out on my bullshit, please.
Right.
I want to be here to support you. I don't want to sit here and swoop in and whatever. But if it's stuff like, oh, what was it? Marilyn Monroe fronted for what's her name?
Etta?
Nah,
Ella.
Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald. Because Ella Fitzgerald wasn't getting hired because she was a bigger lady and she was Black.
A bigger
and Marilyn
Black
Monroe
lady.
got her a job and said, I will be at your club every night that she performs. So you will get the publicity and everything because I'm here. But you're giving Ella that job. That is the best recognition of your goddamn privilege that you can do to help support somebody else. Is here's the thing. This person's getting neglected. Well, I'm here to make sure that they get what they need. Period. And you should be doing that without me doing this.
Yep.
And be that person. Stand up there and fight that fight.
If that's the least that you can do at this point in time, that's like the best that you can do. Just sit down and have a conversation. Ask your friends. Say, hey, you got your Black friends. Side note, Flip, your hair looks good. Oh, thank you. But you know what I mean? Like, ask your friends, hey, is there a time that you felt like I have done something that has been insensitive? Do you know how many times I've somebody's accidentally said something to me and I'm like, rephrase it. But like, ask your friends. Say to your friends, hey, has there ever been a time that you've gone out and like something has happened and I haven't noticed? Do it. I can guarantee to you they will say yes. You don't.
I want to say it was maybe Kelvin. I don't remember. One of them called out and they were like, here's one of the best insults all my well-meaning white friends have given me was, oh, well, you don't sound Black because you talk white. And it's like, why would you say that to somebody?
I made that comment the other day where my cousin and I were actually talking about this the other day because she was like, it's great to see like, all the people that I went to high school with who I thought I was cool with that obviously now we're not cool. The comment was that somebody had said to me, you're not black because you don't sound Black. And I was like, well, what do you mean? What do I sound like? And they said, you're intelligent. And I was like, so are you saying that Black people aren't intelligent? Or what are you trying to say? Rephrase that was one of those, rephrase what you just said to me. You made a mistake. And I think my mom had a conversation with me about that once too, where she was like, yeah, when people meet me, they don't think I'm Black. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, what?
But definitely, that's it. Donate to things if you don't want to protest. Donate, have conversations. Just reach out to people. Call your friends and be like, hey, are you okay right now? Because people are going through a lot of trauma and unfortunately, there are people being re-traumatized because of this situation. Just reach out to people. Show them that you care.
Yeah. I posted a link in the comments, guys. It's a link to a document that you can go to. And on that document, it says, for Breonna Taylor, that I think is the first one. It's Breonna Taylor. Here's the email address that you email. Subject line, Breonna Taylor. Here's the body of the message you're going to send. And it says, hello, my name is blank. You put in your name and you email it.
Yep.
That's it. So I did that last night. It took me all of 15 minutes to contact literally everything that was in that email. And then there's a bunch of numbers in there that you text to show your support, and they
Yep.
get funds every time you text the number and stuff like that. Costs you nothing. Do it.
Just do it.
You know, if you're not willing to talk to your friends, if you're not willing to donate, if you're not willing to demonstrate, if you're not willing to post, do that privately. It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff you can be doing.
I fully understand that sometimes people are silent because they don't know what to do, but there are resources that you can find on the internet so that in your silence and in your quiet time of introspection, you can do something. Okay?
Working on you.
Yeah, just work on yourselves. That's all that matters. Hold on, Mom said something. Because when they speak to me on the phone and when they meet me in person, they're shocked. It's true!
So bad.
It's true.
So bad.
It's so
well, that
true.
was my first college roommate, Maya. I talked to her on the phone, and we were arranging over the phone what if she was going to bring the TV, I was going to bring the VCR, whatever. And I got there, and I'm like, "Oh, you're black," and she's like, "Yeah, the VCR, we're so old." And I go, "You're black," and she goes, "Yeah," and I was like, "Had no idea," based on the phone conversation. Why would I ever know? And then my two suite mates were also black, so this was fun. So I'm the only white kid in this little conglomerate, and every day I'm in there washing the grease out of my hair, putting moisturizer, blah blah blah. And they're like, "Why are you trying to take the grease out of your hair?" And I'm like, "What are you talking?" It gets real gross.
Gotta
real quick,
understand.
my hair is very different from yours. And they were like, "Watch this," and they have their little bottle, and they're like, "You gotta put this all in here." And then I was able to ask it, because that's the thing, I live with them. So I was like, "Why do you guys walk around doing this?" And they're like, "I'm trying not to fuck up my hair and it itches." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know."
You were able to learn things.
It was amazing. And just food. Like, they showed me the best food. They showed me the best parties. They showed me the best shit. Like, because I'm open. I want to know. You're different from me. I want to know. And let me walk around with my stupid fairy wings with my Hanson posters and my weird ass friends. And they loved me just for the kooky weirdo I am. And It was great. But it's like, you got to be open. If you're not open, then you're never going to get anywhere.
No. If you're not open to learning, then you're not going to learn. Be open to learning. Ask questions.
Shout out to Michaela, Amber, and Maya. Hi.
What's up, you guys?
What's up? Just y'all.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Roommate. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying. Just, do your part. I'm not asking you to
and then
do anything crazy. Go ahead.
And then join us then join us Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Time for Kurt Cobain as we continue our series on the 27 Club.
Yes. Thank you guys. Angela, what else do you have to say?
Yep. Thank you to the Last Electric Rodeo Band for allowing us to use their song, Bronze Age of Horror. If you want more information on the Last Electric Rodeo, go to lastelectricrodeo.com. They have a new album coming out soon. I sing on a track. As soon as we get that track, it's going on the credits. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful night, day, wherever you are when you're listening to this, watching this. Be safe.
Yeah.
Speak up. Be heard. Peace out.
Bye.
Together and coolies true. So talk to the hand, leather face. Make way for the killer clowns from outer space. From Age of Horror, I'm a toxic avenger. I'm a hellboy. Where's my army of darkness? Come on, make some noise. It's a swamp thing, it's a they live life. Fucking head with a fork and Chucky with a knife. Monster matches and fill you the fast. To get into this body, you need no class. You didn't know we're right around the corner. We are the Bronze Age of Horror. I give the ring the finger. Blair Witch can be my Freddy, Jason, you're just alright. But we're hanging with the gremlins just after midnight. We are the Bronze Age of Horror. The Bronze Age of was overrated, and Blade made me wanna be sedated. Ghostface just made me mad. I only scream 'cause it sucks so bad. Who's grateful for the Walking Dead? And Twilight could suck up. Buffy wasn't a total